Erica here, and I am here to film my April wrap-up really quickly. It's like 11 o'clock at night here, and I have to work a lot over the next week, so I won't have time to film, and I wanted to get this out here before, the end of May. The first thing that happened in April was the Genrethon, which I participated in. I didn't read a ton, but I did finish the kind of goal of reading 3 books from 3 different genres, so I didn't do a separate wrap-up because it was just 3 books, but I read Giant Days. This is by John Allison, Lissa Tremaine, Whitney Koger, Jim Campbell, and it's a graphic novel about 3 girls who are freshmen in college, and they are kind of experiencing the struggles of being on their own in young adulthood, but it was really well done, like really excellent. I really enjoyed it. I didn't think I was going to enjoy it. It's been categorized as YA, which isn't my thing, but I ended up very much liking it, and I'm looking forward to carrying on with the rest of the series. I'll talk about this more in my next comics wrap-up. For my fantasy pick, I read Six Gun Snow White by Catherine M. Valente. This is a Western retelling of Snow White, and it was incredible. Catherine M. Valente has yet to disappoint me, and I really thoroughly enjoyed this. So it's set in the Western United States, kind of during the Gold Rush era. Snow White's father is a miner, and it was excellent. So highly recommend this. Snow White herself in this story is of Native American descent, which was a cool twist, and yeah, I gave it 4 stars. It was wonderful. And then for science fiction was the 3rd genre I completed during Genrethon, and I finished reading Illuminae. This is by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. It was nominated for the BookTube SFF Awards in the Young Adult Novel category. I do not read Young Adult, and I liked this. I'm not going to do a full review on it. The things that irritated me about it were the things that I knew were going to irritate me about it. I think I gave it 3 stars. The story's really action-packed. It's really cool. It's really well done. But there was like a YA romance line that kind of got on my nerves. But there's also a crazy AI in this book who I loved. So that's basically all I have to say about this. And like I said, it was fine. Definitely action-packed. It was a quick read. And I got really wrapped up in it. But it's not something that I would necessarily reread or anything like that. The next book I finished was The Nest by Cynthia Dupree Sweeney. I was not the biggest fan of this. I gave this 2 stars. I'm going to do a full review on it, talking about it, because it is a new release, and I know a lot of people have really liked it, but I was not a fan. Luckily, it's a beautiful book, but again, not terrible. I mean, I read it, I finished it, but not my personal favorite. And then Dewey's 24-hour readathon happened. For those of you who follow me on social media, you kind of have a vague idea of what that day was like for me. It was wonderful. I love Dewey's. It's my favorite thing. So, like I said, I already have a separate wrap-up for these books, which I'll link down below, but what I read during that was the 3rd volume of Lumberjanes, the 1st volume of Paper Girls. I read volumes 4, 5, and 6 of Amulet by Kazu Kibushi, and the 1st volume of I Hate Fairyland. All of these will be in my next comics roundup. They were all pretty fantastic, though. Definitely was not disappointed. I also read Sputnik Sweetheart by Haruki Murakami. This is my least favorite Murakami to date. It was kind of, for me, like a cross between The Wind-Up Bird Chronicle and Norwegian Wood, but it wasn't as well done as I was hoping. I still gave it 3 stars. I didn't not like it. I liked it. It was fine, but I've definitely read better novels by Murakami. Then I read Civil War Land in Bad Decline by George Saunders. That is so hard to say, Civil War Land. This is a collection of short stories and a novella by George Saunders, who's one of my favorite short story authors. He's truly a genius, and I really thoroughly enjoyed this. I think I gave it 4 stars. Every single story in this collection was a big hit. This collection was a little bit gruesome and violent. It had a lot to do with violent deaths. And there was just a lot of discussion about death and the afterlife, and themes and images along those lines running throughout it. But it was fantastic. I'm not sure if I would start here for George Saunders soon. I have like one more collection of his to read, and then I'm going to do an author overview on him. But it was fun. It was great. And if you're familiar with him and like his work, this is a really short, quick collection. I read The Lifted Veil by George Eliot. George Eliot and I are not friends. I don't think we're ever going to be friends. I didn't really like this. I gave it 2 stars. It's the story of a man who's a very unreliable narrator. He's ill, and you can't really tell if he's losing his marbles or not. And that's really all I can say. There's a romantic bit to it as well, of course, but it's really short. So if you're interested, check it out. If you like George Eliot, you'll probably like this. I just don't like her. I don't not like her. I appreciate her, but it's not for me. It's like Jane Austen. I don't get it. I read The Book of Unknown Americans by Christina Enriquez. This, I was really looking forward to, and I was a little bit disappointed by it. I gave it 3 stars. It's the story of a family, a couple of families really. There's all different characters, and like each chapter switches back and forth in perspective. But it's mainly the story of a young girl and her family who immigrate from Latin America to the United States. And she's suffered a traumatic injury and is suffering some brain damage. And then it's the story of another family as well who lives nearby, and the young boy in that family and this young girl kind of get together. Great. Good synopsis, Erica. Anyway, I was really looking forward to it. I love immigrant narratives. I had heard wonderful things about it, and it disappointed me a little bit, but it's definitely worth checking out. It was a quick read. It was really engrossing. There's some great stuff going on here. It's just not as much as I wanted it to be. I read a collection of poetry, which is Window Left Open. This is by Jennifer Grotz, and I think I'll do another kind of mini poetry reviews with a couple of collections I read recently soon about this. This was beautiful. I'm really glad. I picked this up on a complete whim. I believe it was recently published, and it was just wonderful. So I'll talk about this more in the future, though. And the last book I have to talk about is The Story of My Teeth by Valeria Luiselli. This was awesome. I can tell you right now that this is not the book for everyone. I know it's getting a little bit of hype, but I loved it, and I'm going to do a full review on this very soon. So those are all the things I read in April. Not my slowest month of the year so far, but I mean, I read a lot of comics. Sometimes you just gotta read a lot of comics. As for what I am currently reading, I'm currently working my way through Mark Strand's new selected poems. I love Mark Strand. This collection is amazing, but it's quite large for a poetry collection, and I can only read so much poetry in one sitting. So, working my way through this, I started it during the 24-hour readathon and didn't quite finish it. Thoroughly enjoying this. I'm also reading The Tenant of Wildfell Hall right now. I'm doing this with a buddy read with Liz, Katie, and Sam, all of whose channels I will link down below because they're all fantastic. I don't have a physical edition of it yet. I'm reading it on the Audible app, or not the Audible app, the Kindle app for now, but because I'm holding out because the Penguin cloth-bound edition comes out at the end of this month, I think, or the beginning of next month. I don't remember, but I'm enjoying that. Everyone that I know who has read it has told me that I'm going to love it, and so far so good, but I'm not too far into it. I'm about halfway through A Room of One's Own by Virginia Woolf. If you are not aware, this is kind of an extended essay that Virginia Woolf wrote about women and how they need their own spaces in order to be able to create. Really fantastic, a bit dense. It is Woolf, but I'm enjoying it. And just last night, I started How to Be Both by Ali Smith. This will be my first Ali Smith. I only got like 15 pages into it before I fell asleep last night, but so far so good. So that's excellent. And that is all I have for you today. If you would like to chat about any of these books, let me know down in the comments. I hope you had a wonderful April, and I will see you all soon. Bye.